Good morning guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of our auction video. It wasn't going to be a series, but I did a lot of footage of the auction. Hopefully you will enjoy that because I'm starting this part 2 before I've even put part 1 up. So Coco's with us this morning. We're parked out the front of the shops. It's pretty early. Morning Christine.
Morning.
We are unloading everything we bought. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll put a link up the top now and probably a link underneath. It was a really fun auction. We spent a bit, but we got a lot. So let's have a look what we're doing with it. Unloading the van. We've got a bit of stuff on the footpath. I'll show you what we've got and we'll go through this video and do some pricing and work out how we're going to get rid of stuff. Okay, it's going to be pretty warm today, so we thought we'd get an early start. Christine's being Mr. Muscles, or is that Miss Muscles? And we're Ms. Muscles. We'll be unloading those tables and things in a tick. We're just spreading some stuff out here. It is a Sunday, so our shops are going to be open. Pardon the traffic noise, there's starting to be a bit of action here. So unpacking early Sunday morning kind of works well for us because we may sell a table and chairs or something large before we even have to put it away. Because this auction was so cheap, we're not going to be asking big dollars for things. For example, these two old ice chests, they do need restoration, but they're pretty complete. Can you believe it? That was only $5. I'm probably going to put a $50 price tag on it today, and I may well sell. So 10 times my money first day, that would be awesome. This one's a little rougher, but I think we paid $2 for this. So it was a nice cheap auction to go to. It was nice to go to an on-site auction after COVID sort of stopped them for a couple of years in Australia. A few nicer things I've got to go through. That's a really nice clock I got for $50. I'll be testing that out. There's some good stuff in some of the other boxes. At this stage we're just going to sort out who gets what, because Christine and I just had one bidding number and she wanted some things like this trolley she's going to use for her shop. But basically we just bought everything under one number. We paid, how much did we pay? $860 we spent, and the van was pretty full. And for those that didn't see that video, we had to go, oh, it's not here, it's at home. We had to go back and get the ute and trailer, and that's full of stuff as well. So we'll just keep unloading for now. I've got to work out what I'm going to do with some of the things. Like, I've got a lot of these old oil boxes that are very collectible. My dilemma is, do I sell them as complete boxes just with a bit of a wash up, or do I actually knock them apart, because the ends sell very well on their own, and because these ones have had like shelves put in them, because I think they were used in the workshop, some of the shelves are actually nice printed end advertising as well. So I'll have to check them all out. I'm just moving them to the backyard for now. We'll give them a wash up during the week. I've got a few boxes of assorted shed stuff to go through, and Christine's got some boxes of glass and china and stuff. So go and have a look at video number 1 if you haven't seen it, and we'll just keep unloading here, and I'll give you a bit of a list and show you how we're pricing stuff shortly. Alright, so we've emptied the van. We still haven't, what's the time actually? It's about 9?
It's about 20 past 9.
20 past 9. So we haven't got to our opening times yet. We usually open about 9:30. Our doors say 10 o'clock. So we're not even open yet, and we've filled the footpath with stuff. The van is empty. Coco's been having a meet and greet with local walking dogs. I'll quickly just go through some of the stuff that you may not have seen. I can't remember what footage I put on as far as the auction goes. This little nest of tables is quite cute. I think we paid 10. They just slide out. Queen Anne style legs. They're probably 1930s maybe. Might be a little bit later, just made in the earlier style. Christine's taking them. We've sorted out what we're taking each. And what did you say your total added up to? 330 for Christine's stuff, which leaves 530 for mine. Most of mine is still on the ute and trailer, which I'll bring back today. So Christine's claimed these. I think don't know what she's going to put on them. She might get 75 or something for them. She's going to use her trolley. That won't be for sale. We do have some boxes of assorted sundries each. And that beautiful display cabinet she won't be selling. That will be a shop fixture, and it should look magnificent. So she has some boxes of sundries to go to. We did split up the Carlton Ware Rouge Royale, which you would have seen in the first part. It's all that lovely red and gold English china. So we've got 2 boxes of that each. Some of the records Christine's taken, and I think I've got one box of records. The nice yellow table and chairs will probably price out the front today. I'm not sure, I might try 100, 125, but Christine's going to find a spot in the shop for that, and we'll price it up a bit higher once it's in there. The piano's not included. That was dropped off here recently for free because our community piano is a bit sad these days. You've seen these modern drawers. There's an old cedar phone table, kind of like a phone table even though it's not. A few other bits and pieces. So we've split them in half. I'm going to price my stuff, Christian will price her stuff. Hopefully we sell a bit off the footpath today. Yeah, it's going to be a nice day, so we're ready, customers, come on. Okay, an update now for you guys. It's just before lunch. It's almost lunchtime. I think it's about 12:30. The town is absolutely packed. This is a very tourist orientated town, and every weekend it's flat out here. I think I've priced everything. Christine's got all her stuff priced. I put 60 on the pair of those modern bedside tables, and I've got all my normal stock out the front. The footpath's pretty cluttered at the moment. I put 75 on that nice pine hall table. That should sell pretty quick. I managed to find out that, well, I managed to not find out what this curved glass was from. It's definitely not from a petrol bowser. A mate of mine helped me out there, but I put $10 on it. Someone will buy it for some purpose. I don't need to know what. All my normal stocks out here. I've priced the no parking signs at $10 each. The fire set I think I put 30 on, and this nice pine turned leg table, early 1900s, I just put $50 on it. It's in pretty good nick. It's a little wonky, but I threw it on the local Facebook marketplace groups at 50. Hopefully it sells today because I don't want to put it away, but I think I only paid 10, so that's perfectly fine. The army boxes, which was the first things I actually bought at that auction, I paid $5 the whole pile. I put $15 each on them, and I've already sold 2. They've gone already, which is fantastic. And along that line, the 2 ice chests that were here have both gone. We got 50 for one and 20 for the other, so $70 returned on the ice chests. The Weber I put 50 on. I haven't really researched it. I know some of these do bring pretty good money, but it's very dirty, very dirty. If I get 50 for it quickly, I'm happy. If someone gets a bargain, that's good for my shop, they'll come back. I put $30 on the old green table here. It's got really nice early turned legs, so I think it's quite an old table. You probably can't see so much looking at it from that angle. Whoops, I nearly knocked the Weber barbecue over. Really nice old turned legs. They may have been cut off at the bottom, and it is a bit wonky and rough, so I just put $30 on that. At least with that one I can move it in and out, so that's not a problem. What else did I do? These stereo speakers here, they're Jensen speakers. I think they're pretty good quality ones, but like a lot of vintage speakers, the rubber sort of suspension around the speakers it just perishes and falls apart. The rubber goes hard, so you can buy new rubber mounts for them. So this one does need restoration. So I just put $10 the pair on that. Some hi-fi enthusiast might be happy to take them and restore them. Let's have a quick look at Christine's stock. She's priced things with nice big bold price tags. Hopefully we move a bit today. We put 50 on that nice old cedar piece, 100 on the bright yellow table and chairs, $60 each on these big tall boy drawers, or 100 the pair. They're very heavy, so hopefully they do sell today. I'm not sure if she's sold anything from out the front yet. We've only really been open for a couple of hours, and I'm pretty pleased to have sold a few things. She put 65 the set on the Queen Anne nest of tables. So there's certainly been a lot around. This is the first chance I've had to get out and do a little bit of filming, and people have been walking past me wondering why I'm talking to my phone. I've decided with these big signs, I'm actually going to mount them up on the wall of my shop. They're the right colour code for my shop, the green and the cream. I'm going to get rid of that fruit fly warning sign and put those up on the side of the shop. It'll look really cool. So that's about it for now. We're pricing things cheaply, but still making really good margins, and that's how I like to run my shop. And I will go into that in a lot more detail when I do get my Patreon series up about being a second-hand dealer and the secrets to my business dealings and how to be successful. I think I could teach anyone to do it, and you don't have to have specialist knowledge. So okay, I better get back inside. I've got some customers waiting. Okay, just made a couple of sales, and I thought I'd bring you up and show you what's on the ute and trailer. There's a large, it's actually a drag saw frame here, which is going to go beside my shop as a bit of a feature. There's an old engine there. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet. The lawnmower I grabbed because we've put a new lawn in at home, and this is a catching mower, and apparently it goes. We might do a video on checking that one out and making sure it's in good order. And there's also a lot of old tools and rusty bits of metal, and there's a wheelbarrow wheel and a few bits of scrap metal. So I've got to go through all this during the week. I'm not going to do it today, but you can see we got a fair haul from this auction. It was a lot of fun. Alrighty guys, it's the next day, it's Monday. I haven't opened the shop today, and I did not sell this pine table on Facebook. No one claimed it for $50. I cancelled the auction last night. It was only a price while it was out the front. So I've put it up on top of this extension table for now, and I'm probably going to put $150 on it. So my prices in my shop very much depend on timing rather than what something's actually worth. It's a very contentious issue what something's worth. There'd be many say that a nice old pine antique turned leg table would be worth a lot more than $150. But I don't really mind what things are worth as long as they're not overpriced, and as long as I'm making a good margin and the timing is right for me. Now this salt tin cleaned up absolutely beautifully. It's quite a scarce large size. It's 28 pounds, so it's like a shop display tin, and the graphics on all sides are just magnificent. I found quite a few online, but mostly they were round, and the squarer ones were all a lot smaller. I did see the results of one of these sell, so they're not super rare, but I'm going to put $150 on that in the shop. And that's something that I don't mind if it actually sits there for a long time, but it wouldn't surprise me if it sells pretty quickly. So we're going to go outside today and just unload the ute and trailer, and we'll finish this video part up with some prices I'm going to get for this stuff, what I'm going to do with some of it, and we'll have a bit of a quick rummage through the boxes of smalls from the shed, and I'll just point out anything of value and what I'm going to do with that. And that will wind up this video, and then we'll do part 3. I never intended there to be a third part or even a second part, and I'll show you the signs I'm going to put up on the wall there. We'll have a look at those oil boxes and see what we're going to do with those and what sort of value we get there, and we'll run through Christine and my price lists and just see how well we did on the day. So we'll get this unloaded, and then I'll show you some of the stuff in the back of the ute, and we'll just discuss some pricing. Okay, let's finish up this part now with some of the shed stuff I scored, and I do like this part, and sometimes there's boxes of shed things that you just don't know what's in the bottom. For a start, I did pay, I think I paid $40 for this old platform scale. So usually on most farms to weigh wool bales, so these ones are on, still got all its original wheels. I did notice that it's got a crack across the front there. I didn't notice that when I was bidding, but I still think that's a $150 piece. I do have the weights hanger, and I think there's a couple of weights to go with it too. I'll probably just stick that down the side lane. It really doesn't need to be out of the weather. Someone may restore it, but yep, that's not a bad one. This little cylinder mower, they cut really well. This one actually still operates even though it's super rusty. I think I paid $2. We'll get $30 for that, probably as a garden ornament. The drag saw frame, the wheels roll luckily, so it wasn't so bad for me to get it on and off. It's incomplete, it's really just a garden ornament. I've just put it onto the stones there next to the old shaft cutter, which I have already sold. I'm probably going to put 175 on that, basically because the wheels would easily get at least 100 anyway, and it's a nice garden ornament, nice rusty farm machinery. City people, I find, love that sort of stuff in their gardens. Now we'll go through some of the small stuff. I pulled this one out separately so you can have a look at it. It's actually a floorboard clamp. Now this part here you can see will clamp on the actual bearers of the floor, and they normally come in pairs, but I only got the one. And so once it's clamped on the bearer, you'd put your floorboard up here against the next floorboard in the tongue and groove, and you basically crank this handle and it pushes, goes that way. You can see it pushes that out, and it essentially squashes the floorboards together nice and tight so the tongue and grooves seat properly. You do need two of them, sometimes even more. You'd clamp one on each bearer. They used to sell really well. A single one's not going to make big bucks, and it's quite worn, but it's still complete and it still actually does work. We'll probably put $30 on that, and that was just in amongst some stuff I got cheap. Let's have a look at the trailer. Hopefully we don't get too much traffic noise, and the sun's starting to come out, which is a little bit annoying. These two I only paid $2 for, just for scrap metal. There's quite a bit of brass, there's some copper. That one's actually cast iron, that one's a pressed tin. So we'll knock them apart for scrap value. Not worth trying to sell. This box here has a set of original claw and ball cast iron bath feet. We should be able to get maybe $75 for that set, at least 50 anyway. There's a nice old oil can pourer here. It's a shame it hasn't got advertising on it, but I'll wash that up in some petrol and that'll be probably $20. A cast iron lamp base here, probably Victorian. It's not damaged, and you can see where the fitting, that's just plaster, so it's possibly usable. I'd probably just give it a bit of a wash up and put $20 on it. I'm not going to save it, even though I do up a few lamps. I don't need to keep too many. This large tool is actually a pipe wrench. So the head is essentially double-ended, and it has a chain swing around whatever pipe you're trying to turn and locks on the other side, and you've got really good leverage. The thing's probably about 4 foot long, and that's for doing up large diameter pipes. It's quite rusty, hasn't been used for a long time. Probably just a quick wash up to get the dust off it, and we might get like $25. The engine here is complete, but it's seized. It hasn't been run for a long time. It does still have the magneto on it, which is good, but it is all complete. Look, if I had nothing else in my life, I'd maybe consider restoring it, but it would be way down the list, so I'm just going to sell it pretty much as an ornament. Someone may restore it. The water hopper on the top here, it looks like it's had water sitting in it for a long time, so it's possibly badly rusted inside there. I'm not going to do much with that other than just take it down to the car wash and clean it up a bit, and I'll put it on a trolley. I'll probably wheel it into the shop so that no one pinches the crank handle, which is here somewhere. There it is. And I wouldn't want the magneto damaged. So what's it worth? Oh, probably $100. Got it pretty cheap. Someone should snap it up for 100. There's some large springs there off some farm machinery, probably off a spring-tine cultivator. They will probably sell for about $5 each, purely for people that like to make ornaments and creations from old bits of metal. I'm always getting people asking for, cogs and sprockets and springs for whatever they're welding up in their shed. There's a box of bits and pieces here. It looks like I haven't been into this one yet. Looks like there's a nice little wood plane in here. That's an old salter iron. There's a pipe clamp. That's a record one. Well, there you go. That's probably $20 for mounting to your workbench for clamping pipes. Some good value in some of these boxes. This plane has come apart, but I think it's probably all there. It's probably $10 to $20 again. Not even sure what this is. A compression gauge for engines. So yeah, look, there's good value in here, and these are some big pipe threaders, including, it looks like, some new dies still in their boxes. Excellent value there. Oh, not even sure what's down the bottom. Just a bit of aluminium. Okay, so that was pretty cool. These hinges don't look much, they just look like a bit of flat metal, but they're lovely rustic old hinges that I'm actually going to use at home. I've got to make up a timber gate, and they will be perfect. You might see them in a future video. This frame's been made up to sit over a campfire to boil your pots. I'm not sure how old it is. It's certainly been through quite a few fires, but that'll sell well, probably at least $20 there. Onto the ute now. This has been made up as a fireplace fender, probably in an old cottage or something. Not a lot of value. This little brass sprayer is a bit different. Don't see too many like this. It's a pressure pump up and just a sprayer. Probably $20. Some boot lasts, some various tools, sprinkler heads, a pulley. Not much value enormously there. There's a genuine original old wheelbarrow wheel there. I usually get 20 to 25 for them. That's a really nice cast iron base, and I'm not sure what it's off. I might even use that for the base of a lamp. I would probably sell that for 20 as it is. What else have we got? A couple of strange old double wheels here. They may have even been off a pram or something. There's a timber axle, very old. They're probably $20 just as they are. Now, there's some brass pieces. I'm not hopefully you can see these. Have a look at that. It looks like King Neptune himself on the front of that. And there was 3 of them, and I thought they were hinges for a start. Then I looked at this frame here, and this is a fireplace fender. And these are the decorative pieces. There was one in the middle and one each end. And I think I've got all the parts to put that back together. So if I do get that assembled, I'll have to find a few bolts and things. I'll leave it sort of rusty, but I might clean the brass up a little bit. I'll show you in the final part. That could actually bring pretty good money, depending on how it looks. There's some nice old hanging scales there. They're probably salter scales again. I usually clean the brass faceplate up on those, and that'll get at least 50. What else have we got? A couple of pick heads, some old hinges, some fire tools. This is a saw set for bending the teeth on a large circular saw. So quite a lot of stuff. There's some sheep shears here, all saleable, very little scrap. Someone who knows me just went past and gave me a wave. And Christine's come out to say, where's my lunch? Probably. Where's my lunch? Yeah, that's it. I better go and get lunch. We're finished filming here. This will do for part 2 of this video. It's becoming a real epic. So we will do a part 3 and we'll run through prices, and I'll show you a few of the better things cleaned up, and we'll see if we can get that fireplace fender looking really nice. So stay tuned. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.